Welcome back to English History. Today's going to be a bit of a different video. As you can see, we've got a tatty old van that we're going to turn into a camper van, hopefully. Never done it before, haven't got a clue what we're doing. Going to watch a few YouTube videos and try and get it looking something like. We want it to be very basic. We don't want it to have all the sinks in and all stuff like that. We're just going to have an awning, and that's going to have our kitchen and stuff like that. Inside, we just want it to be 2 beds, somewhere to chill out while we're metal detecting on the weekenders and stuff. Some electrics to charge our metal detectors. Very simple, very basic, but comfy. We want it to look plush, be super comfy and usable for the weekenders, and warm. So we've got to get the right insulation and that. So let's see how we get on. At the minute, the van's a right crap hole. With cakes and all sorts in here, look. Well, that's what we've got to rip out. All this has got to come out. Inside of the van, don't look too bad. The only problem we've got, you see the daylight coming through there? There must have been a flashing beacon up there or something, and I've just put a bit of gaffer tape over it to stop the rain coming in, so we've got to fix that as well. Right, let's empty the van, see how we get on. Okay, so the van's emptied out. It's a VAUXHALL Vivaro. It's the longer wheelbase. I've got to get all this out. Probably use a lot of this timber in the structure. I think we're having a cupboard that I'm going to take the bulkhead out, use some of that, make a cupboard, and we're thinking of having one bed this side, it'd be like a chair this side, going back, a chair that side, and I'll drop into 2 single beds with like maybe a 6 to 8 inch gap in the middle. Few USB sockets, some lighting up above, and that's about it. We're looking at all the different insulations for the walls. We was looking at this stuff, but because it's not water resistant in a way, if any water gets in, it's gonna stink, it's gonna go damp, and it's all gonna collapse down the walls and not insulate properly. So we're going for this recycled plastic, which is waterproof. A little bit more expensive, but Phil don't mind.
Nah.
He ain't stop moaning.
I ain't paying that much.
Got to be done right, mate. Right, load him up.
I'm gonna want one of these, don't I, right?
I ain't got none of that yet. I thought you ordered.
I've got 2 rolls. I reckon we want a bit more, wouldn't we?
That's dear, that is, isn't it? 27 quid.
Yeah, but my rolls are half the size now.
What's this one here? No, that's not it. That's cavity closures. Double aluminium reflective roll, 55. Single layer. That's all you want to.
We get this and we can bring it back.
That's all you want, yeah?
Yeah, we'll bring it back if we don't use it. Yeah?
That's just to stop the water barrier, like it's and you just got to metal tape it, whatever it's called, foil tape it. So, that's on top of the insulation.
And look, the chicks won't come round either.
Oh, you get no pests. Stephen Gray then.
Yeah,
Stephen Gray away. Right, now we've got to take all the shelving down, so got the screwdriver, try and zip all the screws out, get all the shelving down. We might be able to salvage some of the wood that's on the walls already. If we can use that, that's going to save us a few quid. So we bought all the material to do it, and if you can use some of the old stuff, that can go back and get a few quid back in the pocket. So far, spent about 300 quid. Right. We're still undecided if you're going to take the bulkhead out yet. So we get all the stuff stripped out first, take some measurements and see what we can get away with. Try and get as much as we can space wise, but we need to make sure we can fit the beds in and a cupboard for some bits and bobs. Everything's just playing it by ear at the minute. We don't know. Never done one before, haven't got a clue what we're doing. Learning along the way. Just taking all that shelving out. We found a safe.
A few quid in there, mate.
And out the corner here, when we moved that, this screw's keys dropped out. Dun 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 dun. But that'd be handy, that one, wouldn't it, mate?
Yeah, no rubber dildo in there. Fishing one.
What?
Magnet fishing, 120 quid, rubber dildo.
Was there inside it? All we got is a few keys and locks. Never mind, but we use that in the camper van. It's awesome, that is.
Happy days.
stash it there. Right, and so we've got 2 cables coming there. That's going to be the USB port there. Then another one coming off the back of that, back round to here. There's 2 USBs so far gone in. We might have some more coming at the bulkhead end. We're going to have a cupboard there. It's going to have a switch panel. We've also got 1 light here, independent, and another one there. So we can have 2 switches for front and back lights. And that's it so far with the electrics. It's all gone, all run into the old trunking across there and all across the top there with the original cables. Going all so far, Beaut.
Yep, Tal.
Master of the camper builders, aren't we?
Yeah. Auto electricians now, mate.
Right, just starting to do the installation now. We've got the recycled plastic loft insulation. The reason we chose this because it's itch free. It's made from recycled bottles, so it's not going to hold any water, which is what you want really in a camper van. So you don't want rust in the van from the inside out. And it's got a good R value. What was it again? 2.25. So we're going to put that now in all the trunking inside all this, fill all the gaps where it can transfer. Then we're going to glue some on the bigger panels as well, fill that up. And then after, we're going to put the reflective roll in front of that and try and leave a little cavity. And then we're going to put the walls back on. On fire, aren't we, mate?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
mate.
it, fill it right in tight, mate. Try and don't try and squash the insulation, that's it, perfect.
Tea break, mate.
Tea break. A well-earned tea break as well. What we've done so far then, stripped everything out, cleaned it, expanding found the tricky, tiny little areas. Put the electrics in.
Electrics in.
We decided to leave the bulkhead in, just so it keeps it warmer in the cold winter.
We've drove and got all the stuff today as well, haven't we?
We've got all the stuff today. And we've insulated with the plastic recycled insulation. Bottom half. The worst bit we've found, which is an absolute nightmare, is the little channels going across. We don't want no cold spots. So we've got to rip little bits of this insulation off and put it in screwdrivers now, haven't we? What we're getting now, we've got 2 more to do.
We didn't want to use a spray foam because it'd be all dripping out, wouldn't it?
We don't know if the spray foam has got a good R value, as in keeps the heat out or heat in. So we ain't going to use that. We was going to, but we're not going to. We're just going to spend a bit of time and fudge it in all the little nooks and crannies. The more time we spend on it now, the more effort we put in, the warmer it's going to be and cooler it's going to be.
Yeah. And less damp, isn't it?
Yeah.
No smelliness.
Yeah, because if we never filled these panels, I'll show you in a minute anyway. I'll bring you up and have a look. If we never filled these bits in, there'd be cold spots. So that's where the condensation could form, and you get mildew and crap all over the ceiling. So spend the time and get it done right. On it, haven't we?
Yeah.
I'll show you now. Bring you around this way. I'll show you. It's a bit easier. So yeah, insulation's gone in, and it's all fudged up. All in that nook and cranny, all the way around, and that's a big cavity all the way along there as well. But these are the tricky buggers. All the insulation we're getting in there, all the way across, just so there's no cold spots. But yeah, we're getting there, mate. I reckon we'll have the insulation all in today,
Battens
the foil
on.
wrap, battens on, and try and get the boards on. Be a long day,
Yeah.
but that's a wicked day's
Till
work.
like 10 o'clock at night.
Don't matter, does it?
No.
But if we can get all that done in one day, that's smashed it. Then it's just a case of build the beds, build the box in, find out where all the electrics are going down here and the battery and everything.
Leisure battery put in and charge up.
Yeah. Vino's doing that for us, isn't he, the electrician?
Yeah, we don't want to fire in here.
No, we're not the best. Not with electrics. We're getting there, though, bit. Right, come back to you when we get to the next stage. All the walls are done. It's too hot in there now. Just started on the ceiling. Obviously we've put insulation and all the rafters going that way. And now we're going to put the bats going that way. So there's no breaching of the damp or cold. And then we're going to put battens going that way. And then put a plyboard over it so it can be carpeted. I'll bill her about. Better get in the van. Nah, brilliant, man. Doing alright so far. Phil's just pops off, get some more bits. Yeah, so once that's done, obviously we've got to put the silverback stuff on, stop the damp getting in. Yeah, so it's looking alright, getting there. I've got to think about doing the floor next. I'm not sure yet how we're going to do that. Put our heads together, make a fence. Nah, we'll have a look on the old Tinterweb, suss that out. I think as long as if we can get the battens thick enough for the insulation, because the cable deck's a lot of money in it and we're on a budget, so if we can get as long as we don't squash if the insulation, say it's 50 mil, if that gets squashed, you're losing the R value of the insulation, so we've got to try and make it so it's still 50 mil, put the insulation in, full wrap it, and then put the floor back down. But we'll have a look in a minute and sort that out. Let you know how we get on. Right, we've put the foil back to the side that's going against the van. So if you want to stick it to the van, and that's going to go straight up.
More insulation, huh?
Sorted, ain't it, mate?
Yeah.
Well, let's try and get it in then, see how we go. Everything's insulated. We've just run out of insulation, so we're going to get a couple more insulation in the roof, and then we've got to put the foil back on that. We've got the foil back on the sides. We still haven't done the doors yet either, but we want to get the sides done and the roof done. But what we're thinking, what Phil wants, is where the roof comes up, we don't want it square and square. We're going to put a timber across somehow, and we're going to form like a arch, a nice slow curving arch going round. So it's like a tunnel effect. But this is the tricky bit. I've watched loads of videos on YouTube, and no one shows a tidy way of getting around that. To box it in or something, but I'll come up with something. I'll use my brain, have a little think and see if because I'm doing an arch, it's going to be hard to carry the arch on all the way along, but I really want to because the effect will look absolutely awesome. See how we get on. Insulated the loft, insulated the roof, then we're going to put the plyboard on and then put the bubble wrap on top of the ply, so and then carpet on top of the reflective like the bubble wrap. But instead of just having a square roof, what we're doing, took a bit of figuring out, but we sussed it. Look at that, nice arch roof. What chuff it out in, mate?
Yeah. My idea, Sid's put it in right.
Took a bit of working, but because I didn't know how to finish it off up here, and we wanted to get rid of the way this is going to go. Because it'd be hard to get a nice edge, especially when you've got a square roof. So I've got this frame coming here. The roof will come down to that. I have a carpet wrap around the outside so it looks smart. The carpet wrap around there. And when you shut the door, obviously you've got to watch that. You're not gonna see that at all. That'll all be behind the arch. Even when it comes in, the arch forms down here. Happy days. Oh, the window's going there.
Yeah, window's going there.
Yeah, we've lost a bit of height when you come in, but you naturally cool down when you get to the door.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
So yeah, all the wrap's done. End of the first day. Done right, haven't we?
Fucking shattered, mate.
We've written it off. It's about 9 o'clock.
Just a little bit insulated. Jesus Christ.
Insulation is a nightmare because you can't just put big bits in. You have to use tiny little bits and just put it in with a screwdriver and try and fill all the little cavities. So you've got like 10 metres worth of insulation, just poking through in little bits at a time. Takes forever. But what have we done today? We've ripped everything out, got all the shelving out, stripped all the floor out, cleaned it all up, insulated everywhere with the recycled insulation, completely filled every little tiny crevice so we know it's going to be warm, well, keep you warm in the winter and cool in the summer. We decided to keep the bulkhead in because we don't want to, it would have been nice to make it feel a bit bigger, you know, just because you can see through the cab, but you can't insulate in here really. So all the cold spots in the front of the cab is going to make the back feel cold. So we've left that in. decided how we're having the beds. We're just having 2 single beds either side, and at the bulkhead end we're having a big cupboard, which is going to have the battery and everything like that, and it's going to come up, we think, we might change it, it's going to have a shelf, and it's going to have the switches and stuff like that for the lights and the sockets and stuff. That's it today. It's done quite well. Oh, and we've started putting the walls back on as well, haven't we?
Yeah, we put 2 side bits on the floor, haven't we?
With the silver, what's it called, that silver stuff, the bubble wrap? We've absolutely
I can't
shattered.
even think.
We've glued that to the back of the wood, cut it out perfect to the shape and just stuck that up. Stop the moisture in between the wood and the side of the van. Right, I'm going home now.
Happy days.
See you later. I'm coming back again, he can do it on his own.